Miss Amma Frimpomaa, Juma of SIC Ghana. We can do better. Can we give an outstanding for her as she comes up stage? Wonderful woman by all standards.
Wow. Good morning. Please let me correct it before my bosses come to beat me. I am Managing Director for SIC Life Savings and Loans. And you know, on Friday when I heard BOG was coming out with a list, I said to Pastor Brian has done these huge billboards with my name on it. And then you come here on Tuesday and you're no longer a CEO. How would you be introduced? But by the grace of God, we survived that. Amen. I'm not coming to make speeches from books. I came to talk to you about things that we can all do. And I'm surprised that the theme or the slogans for Iyes, it says, I can, I will, and I must. In fact, we all can. Because today I stand here to talk to you. I look back at where I'm coming from, and whoever thought that the teacher's daughter from a small village near Sunyani would one day have, the room is filled. All these people come to listen to me. It takes just God's grace. Pastor Brian, thanks for making me a celebrity. Because your billboards took me to places that I didn't know. And thank God for the womb that gave birth to you. For a young man who has no benefits from this, there are politicians who should be empowering the youth. In fact, I am one. We should be doing better than what Pastor Brian is doing because we are paid with the taxpayers' money. He makes no benefits. He lives in the UK, but he lives in the comfort of his home, come here, walk around, and until this year, he has been doing this from his pocket. God bless you, Pastor Brian. So let me start by saying that whatever you find to do it well because people watch. I was invited to Pastor Brian's house not as a speaker. I was invited to his house one Saturday morning because they were going to solicit for funds this time. And somebody said, oh, if it is for funds, Amma can go and get it from people for you. So let's bring Amma on board to help us raise funds. So I went there to eat wache and to talk about how we can raise funds. But it was only because I had raised funds for some work somewhere. Somebody had seen what I was doing and recommended it to Pastor Brian. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, people are watching. And if you do it well, somebody will become your Joseph, will become your butler to Pharaoh, and like Joseph, you'll be recommended to the king. That is the first thing I want to say. And on being able to do it, or we having the power, the ability to do it, see, I have come from far. Well, I have the grace of God upon my life, but it's also taken me some work to do. We always hear opportunity knocks but once. But if the opportunity knocks and you are not prepared for it, even when you open the door, you can't come out. And so whilst we are waiting for this opportunity to knock, let's prepare ourselves. How do we get ready? People ask. We all have first degrees now. Most of us do. Now it's just like anything. Anybody can acquire a first degree. But what puts you or what gives you an edge over the other person? If we're all selling in the market, now everybody sells on social media. You see nice clothes and you ask, oh, where is your shop? And the next response you get is, we deliver. So everybody is delivering. But what makes your delivery different from the other person's? Why would I see your product and buy from you and not the other person? So I said I was coming to give you practical experiences. I finished law school, worked at different places. I am a single mother. The practice wasn't helping, so I needed corporate work. But you go into every bank and the lawyer is a supporting staff. You have a senior who is the head of the legal department. He's 43. You have also come in, so he's retiring at 60. So you're never going to become head of legal. And yet you are the legal department. They bring in the paper to you, scrutinize. The credits people don't like you, the RMs don't like you, because every time they bring their files to you, it stays forever with the legal department. But they are then paid more than you are. They rise through the ranks. Somebody who came in as an RO becomes a branch manager, becomes this, and you're still at the legal department. You're going nowhere. So I sat there with Bank of Africa for 2 years, and I said, why would I be here? My senior is a young man. There is another one above me. So for how long? Then I started taking courses by myself at the banking college. So when they brought a credit paper, I could explain it. When they brought anything, I understood. Days that I was free, I would walk to the Treasury Department and sit with them. And then I would ask questions. Then they would say, oh, I'm up for questions. I was like, well, I have been trained to ask questions. I'm a lawyer. But once I asked the questions, they go angry. I got what I needed. I started understanding banking. Fortunately, my government won power in 2017. You go to ask for this position, they tell you all the things they need. Then they said, oh, there's a savings and loans. Would you want it? The person doing the appointment said, she's a lawyer. Then they said, no, she has certificates from banking college. That was what puts me above the other lawyers. That is how come I can move from the legal department to head a savings and loans. I was ready when that opportunity knocked. I don't know how you're preparing yourself for the next step. We see people and they're doing well. Yesterday, the Archbishop said we have our phones, and these days social media is a disadvantage. But it can come to our advantage because during the times of the Archbishop, you had to leave your work and go to school. Now there are a lot of online programs. How are you preparing yourself, and how are you getting ready when that opportunity or that big door opens for you? What will put you above your colleagues? The degrees, masters, please. These days they don't pay. They're like fine boy. They do. They are like fine boy, they do not pay. The practical experiences, the professional courses, the ones that you don't retire from. So you have a BSc, an MSc, those ones do not. But if you're a chartered accountant, if you are a procurement manager, something that is more professional, more practical. So we all go to school and we want the big courses. My second son just got admission and he wants to do aerospace engineering. Okay, so I looked at it, he has the qualification. But when you go to tech to do aerospace, you may have to go and do your practical with Kantanka on the Winneba Road. No, seriously, what planes do we have here? So you're going to do aerospace in Ghana, but it's the name. He wants aerospace, and this is a young boy, so that, well, he would flex with it. I'm an aerospace engineer in Ghana. So he got the admission, and he said he's been given telecommunication engineering. I thank God, because all my friends who are making money are in that field. But he isn't like, okay, no, that's not what I want. I want aerospace. That is what a lot of people are not doing. You go and do aerospace and you become a pupil teacher. You have to go and teach chemistry or physics. So what course are you doing? What certificates are you empowering yourself with? How is the market for that program or that course you want to do? Is there a market space for it? Is there a job, an already made job? And most importantly, if there isn't an already made job, can you employ yourself? So we should look more at what we can do to employ ourselves. People tell me, why do you bash your own government? Do you want to go into opposition? I said, no, wrong is wrong. Apart from that, when we go into opposition, and the people who came from the other places with the BScs and MScs are going to look for a job, I will still pick my wig and gown and go to the police station and look for somebody who needs a bail. On every day, I would make about 3,000. That is why I am not afraid of a political appointment. So that is the difference between me and the other person who has just a regular degree. So even though we want the degrees, even though we want the masters and we want all the other programs, we should look at the market it will give us and the value it adds to our lives. Please, I hope we get that. So all those of us doing psychology and the other things, I'm not saying they are not good programs. All I am saying is that you should look at it 10 years from now, when you don't want to work anymore. What would you be able to do with a degree or the master's program you're having currently? I also came to tell you that in all of this life, the only person that can motivate us the most is ourselves. Our mothers can have the money, our friends can support us and all of that, but if you're not ready to do it yourself, you won't be able to. So we all have seen babies before. When you're going to pick up a little baby and the baby does, no matter how small the baby is, it will be very difficult for you to lift him or her up. But if you go and the baby sees you and has it is always easier to lift that baby up. It means the baby wants to be lifted up. So if you are not ready to improve upon yourself, no motivation, no money from anybody can improve you. We are our biggest motivators. It is in us. We can only do it if we determine that we want to do it. The circumstances around us. So you see somebody, the person is doing well. You see a lady driving a nice car, is a young girl, and it was bought for her by a sugar daddy. You see a young woman who has been given a political appointment, and she has chopped the big man at the top. So in your mind, instead of looking for what to also do, or going to ask the person what he or she did, you're sitting there, you're looking at the next car to see if it's a big man driving so that you attract the person's eye, and then he would buy you one. But maybe this young woman doesn't sleep at night. She goes to work, comes back to study, and so she's able to afford the car. So please, I came to tell you, if you see somebody doing well, and you would want to be like that person, approach him or her, ask him or her how she is doing it. She might not be sleeping with any big man. Not all the good women out there or the big women out there are sleeping with men to make their monies. Some work real hard, and it must come from within you. So I say I'm coming from far. I'm a teacher, a proud one. I went to the training college. Well, you are confined to the village. I didn't just go to the training college. Went to the training college, did what the nurse said we shouldn't do, and got pregnant. So I came out of school with 2 boys. From the village where I came from, if you have babies and you are not married, and you are a teacher, in fact, you end up a teacher. But within me, I knew that I have these boys who are now my responsibility, and for their sake, I must go up. So I left them with my mother, went to have a first degree, went on to have my post-first degree LLB, and did the BL. I am not boasting, I am only encouraging you. Whilst I was doing my BL, when others were traveling to London, I was using my holidays to do sandwich at UCC for a master's. Because I knew that these boys needed to get better than I did. So the motivation didn't come from the money my mother had to support me. It was because within me, I knew I wanted to do better for myself. So except you are ready to do better for yourself, all the money Pastor Brian has spent, all the times we have left our office to come sit here to motivate you, will come to naught. You must be motivated yourself. And then let me add that sometimes we're not ready for the things we're asking for from God. In fact, most times, we dream big, but except God prepares us for it. And so the delays might not be God not listening to our prayers or whatever, or we not being too good for it. But it's because God knows that, no, let me prepare this person for the position he or she is asking for. When you are prepared for it, when you get in, you excel. If you are not prepared for it, you will get it. There are people who say, oh, minya American visa, and see, the things we say with our mouth come to pass. So they get there and they're either deported back or they're put in some prison or something. But if you prepare for what you want, if you go through the drill for it, I appreciate life. I get humbled because I have walked the road. I didn't leave SS or sixth form and become a lawyer. Then I wouldn't understand. But I have taught in a village where people come to school without shoes. I have taught in a village where at the beginning of the academic year, you're asking children, why are they not buying books? And they're telling you that their parents have to sell the cassava they have harvested and nobody has bought them yet. And so they can't afford the books. So when you become, or you get to a position where you can help those ones, you appreciate it. But if I haven't seen that before, and all I know is Accra and the good lives that go here, our air-conditioned cars and our big homes, then I won't appreciate what I have or what I am getting now. Because we see all these motivational speeches. What you are praying for now, what you have now is somebody's prayer topic. That is really true, but you would only use it well if you are ready for it. I listened to, is it an American, a Miss USA, and she said that her mother bought her shoes that were a size, 2 sizes bigger than her. She was to run in a race. When she fitted it the first time, she fell on the track and she lost it. Then she asked the mother why, and her mother said, you need to grow into it. I remember when we were young, our mothers would buy our school uniforms that are oversized. Because P2, P3, you must still be wearing the same one. Most of you don't understand that. No, I know. But they would buy you uniforms that get to here. So P2, you must be here. P3, before P4, you don't even throw it away. You give it to the one behind you. That is the kind of life that prepares you really for life. So if God is not giving you what you want, the big cars that the bankers drive, see, they are paying for it real hard. It's not just flashy. That is why people are enslaved to the banks. I work there, let me tell you what happens. The loans they get are at a lower rate. So when everybody comes, they take loans. We want to get a car loan, we'll get a mortgage, we get all of that. Then at the end of the month, all of that is deducted from their salary. They go home with peanuts. But when they want to leave, even when they get a better job, these loans are going to be converted into commercial rate, and it's a killer. So because of that, they are not able to leave. So you mortgage your life for 15 years because of some luxuries you want to have now, which you can wait and have if you're ready or you're really prepared for it. So let's take our time. Let's save towards whatever we want. Let's educate ourselves for the roles we want. And let's get ready when that opportunity knocks. What else do I want to talk about? Stumbling blocks and stepping stones. The stones that people throw at us. It depends on what you use with them. If I am short and I have this, I can get here and decide that I am stuck. I can't move on again. Or I can stand on it and become taller. So the stones people throw at us, the bad things that happen to us in life's journey, it depends on how we see it. And it is you, the choice on whether it is a stumbling block or a stepping stone, it's yours. I was a teenager who had babies. But at 41, I have a son in 4th year at the university. So then, was it a stumbling block or a stepping stone? It's your decision. At the time, they were unwanted pregnancies. But today, I came and I proudly showed my son to Pastor Iyes. They tell me, oh, you're taking our funds for it. They forget the shame I took at the time I took the decision to have them. Finally, how many minutes do I have? Can I go on talking? Okay. So, please let's learn to save. Please, let us learn to save. See, it is difficult, especially when you get to some positions like, well, I haven't gotten there yet. People tell me, oh, with the kind of story you have, write a book. I tell them that if I write the book now, I will write a volume 2 and 3 because God is not done with me yet. But what I'm saying is that if you don't save and you decide to take the money out and decide, okay, this is for this, that is for that, and what is left you save. All of us who are receiving salaries, please put a standing order for the saving part so that is taken out before you bring the rest. In this Accra, you will finish the rest before you know. No, you will finish the money before you know. Somebody would come and the kind of disease the person has. So somebody walks into my office, oh, madam, we have an emergency. What emergency? His wife has delivered. I said, please, you had 9 months notice period. How? No, seriously. How much is the delivery? Why is it an emergency? You had 9 months. You knew your wife was pregnant. The doctor gave you expectant date. How does it become an emergency if it's not a premature delivery? But that is the kind of stories that come to you. On my way here, I had a call from my mother. Somebody from my hometown is sick. You know why he's sick? He has diabetes. He didn't have money to buy food. And I think they said they have something called hypoglycemia. So he's collapsed and is outraged. I am the only one from that village here. So I have to find money and go to the hospital. So if my end of month salary is with me, I am not going to save that. I am going. So please, how many of us have bank accounts? Oh, now we are afraid of the bank, so we are keeping our monies. We are keeping our monies in money box. You're hiding your monies. No, but no, on a more serious note, please, let us learn to save. See, there are times in the middle of nowhere, you would have an emergency. Your friends, your relatives will not be able to help. And it is these small things that you have kept that would come to your aid. You give the money to maybe some insurance firm or something, even if it's 100 cedis a month, and don't go for it. But after 4 years, just go ask how much you have gotten. Or look at how much you buy as credit. I think that is one thing we don't look at. Data and credit. That one, every time you have 50 cedis or 20 cedis, you buy some. So you don't calculate. But every time you buy credit, take an equivalent of that and put somewhere. Whenever you buy credits for your phone, take the same amount and put in your money box. You don't bring it to the bank. Just put in a money box. Give yourself 90 days, 3 months. Go open your money box and see how much you have. Then you will know that that is how much you have spent gossiping, looking at people's status, following people that do not even know you. So please, let us learn to save. But bring your monies to us. Dr. Addison and his people say they are done with the cleanup. So we're staying. So please bring your monies to us. It's always safer with us than it is with under your bed. Or with the man that says government should go and collect his money for him. I didn't mention anybody's name. Okay. Then again, the man said I was a philanthropist. That is a big word. I only support people. But please, don't become a billionaire before you give. If it were that, Pastor Brian would not have done this. I'm not sure you're a billionaire yet. You become one, but now you're not, right? Pastor Brian, are you a billionaire? You're doing fine. But for the money you put in this, it is only because he has the heart to help people and he has the heart to. So let's pick up from him. Let's support people if we can. It isn't a show off, but people are really in need out there. I give to people because I have been given to before. And then I've seen people suffer. My sister had a set of twins. One died in the hospital because the two kids were put in the same incubator in a regional hospital, a teaching hospital, and we lost one. But when we went into the intensive care unit, I saw babies that had, you couldn't see anything apart from a hole here. They said it's called palate. There were some that when they're given to you to hold, I was like, will this survive? So I asked the nurses, what's wrong with them? Didn't their mothers attend antenatal? They said, oh, they did. But some children are born just like that. So then I sat there, I was like, okay. Back in 1999, I was in a training college, a Catholic school. So you can't even say you're pregnant. But I was pregnant for 9 months, never attended antenatal, and I gave birth to a healthy child. That is grace. So that got me humbled, and I decided that every time on my birthday, instead of doing a party in Accra with people that when I have a funeral in Sunyani will not follow me, I will beg those people to give me the money they would have given to me as present, and on every birthday we buy a machine for one neonatal unit in Accra, in Sunyani, or in any other part of Brahafo. Kwame is the first guys, incubators will go to the hospitals in Accra. Auntie Becky's incubators go to Kolebu. But my people back home, all of us from Accra, please, let's go back home to our people. Let's go back home. That is what made us. That is what formed us. We can't become Accra. See, when you have a funeral, they'll say you're Krum Kwai Wa. They will give you the money here. But where we're coming from. So please, let's learn to go back home when we have made it. When we're praying for wisdom, when we're praying for worth, please let's pray for a humbling spirit. That when we make it, we would not forget where we're coming from. But in all of this, when you have done all of that, ask God to give you grace. Because but for God's grace, none of your plans will come through. Thank you.
Hold on. We're going to take some questions and then answers, but I'm here with my co-host. She's the future leader. That's my co-host now. Please, the parents, if you're here, she's badly looking for you. I'm told, she said, your sister is also here, right? Thank you, my co-host. Please, she's Kezia. If you're here and you know Kezia, kindly come and get her, please. Boss, you know her? But until you come for her, I'll keep her here. Hold on to her for me, okay? Kezia, I'm coming, eh? Please, we'll take some questions and answers. So if you have any question, we're doing like, say, 5 or 2. Oh, 2. 2 questions. There's one person there, so come here.
Hello, I'm Priscilla, a student and a worker. I want to ask you some 2 questions pertaining to the savings we were talking about. I am a young lady that I have seen that in this our young state, people like an advocate, okay, let me say a skin advocate. So I see that people bleach their skin. So I decided on doing a skin bleaching awareness. So it was when I went to companies looking for sponsorship to sponsor me do the campaign. I didn't get, so I had to take all my savings, even my school fees, like this semester, I have to take my school fees and do it. So what you were saying, like the savings issue. So right now that I have used all my savings to do that seminar, what do I do? Because I don't have any money that...
Hello?
What did you say her name was? Priscilla. I said we should save. But before I said we should save, I said we should prepare for whatever we want to do. So you want to advocate for people to keep the color of their skin. Yes, they would. It's a very good cause. But are you ready for it? So I wanted to give an incubator. I wanted to give a phototherapy machine to the hospitals. In my first year, I couldn't do an incubator. I still gave a phototherapy. So if I can't do a seminar where I'll bring people together, but I want to impact, I can start from my hostel. I can start with my friends. I get 1, I get 2 to talk to them. They speak to the other people. You don't need to use your savings to do that. Prepare for it.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, my question is in 2 folds. The first one is, since you started this law, how do you deal with people who are more knowledgeable than you in your field and endeavor? Because sometimes you meet people who are top pros, icons, people who are intelligent more than you. And the second one is, through Iyes last year I started a small NGO. So I got some books from Pastor Brian. Then I used that one for my book project. But I needed a little bit of sponsorship from the book. So after, thank you very much.
Okay, so I had that as one of my points, but my time was up. One thing we shouldn't be shy of is to let people know our inadequacies. If you don't have the skill, if you don't have the knowledge in that, let people know that you don't know it. So I went to head a microfinance institution. I told my head of finance that I am not a banker. I am a lawyer learning the art of banking. So this your T24 and Goldex softwares, I don't understand. I won't go into it, but I would rely on you. Being a lawyer, yes, proudly one, we are the only learned profession around, but we don't know it all. Nobody ever knows it all. So when you know you do not know, be humble enough to ask from people who know. And don't think that, well, I am up here. Even yourself, we learn from everybody. Everybody we meet, we learn from them, even those who have never been to classrooms. And education is not just the formal one. So we cannot always know it all. When you don't know, ask. We all ask. As for the sponsorship, you say we'll talk about it later. Okay. Thank you.
Please, the last question. The last question. I would like to know, talking about sponsorship. There are a lot of people having very good initiatives that does not even need sponsorship, as you were saying, to kickstart it. Now, what do you think the youth of Ghana is doing wrong that pushes every single person to go in to seek for sponsorship for every initiative they start? What do you think we are doing wrong? Thank you.
What are we doing wrong? We are copying blindly. We assume once somebody does a program, it puts money in the person's pocket. And so we don't want to organize a program. So is what the person doing what you also want to do? And our companies would sponsor, Ghana Meets Niger and the beauty pageant, but not your initiative, or because they don't know me. Iyes too. So you need to know what you want to do and do it at the right time. But most importantly, you should know the platform. It shouldn't always be where you have to get a bigger platform and get money from people. And do what you love. Do what you think you can do. If even it's small and it impacts 2 people, but you know that you have given it your all, it is better than wanting a bigger platform. Because I'm not sure 5 years ago, Iyes was this big. And in 10 years from now, we may have to do it at the stadium because it will become bigger than this. That's a prophecy, catch it.
Oh, we can do better.